Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and today is our podcast number 101. It's Thursday the 12th of September 2024. So welcome one and all while we all hang out and share everything crochet. I cannot wait to tell you about the week I've had and of course share some of your amazing makes. Now in the comments, as always, please let me know what you've been working on. You know we always get a little bit of inspiration from what we've all been up to. Now, as usual, we're going to start off with Tile of the Week, Thursday Blanket Edition. So those of you that have just joined us, and I know there have been a few new friends over the weekend, so welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay and come back to hang out with us again and again. Now, this book here, 100 Crochet Tiles, was gifted to our friend Sam over at Manfors Makes. Now, Sam decided that she was just going to make each and every tile, and then she worked out that it was going to take about 2 years. So this was in the July of 2022. So a couple of months ago, she did achieve that amazing feat, and some of us actually jumped on board. And if you put in the hashtag Tile of the Week Thursday, you'll see how many of us joined along her very organic crochet along. And of course on Sam's channel, she has a playlist with all of her tiles and her experiences. Now, I was very fortunate to be able to join in, and I did make just under 75 tiles because I started week 25. And I have been, and what the plan was and what I've been doing is to put all or as many of the tiles together in a blanket to create a beautiful memory of that journey that we had. And yes, there were some tears along the way, but the best part of all is that we all did it together. So I had chose 7 colors out of my acrylic stash of DK weight or 8-ply yarn. And this is the white that I'm using to join all the colors with. So each and every tile looks like it belongs, even though it's very different because of the colors, I feel. And for each and every tile, I use my 5mm hook. Now, as most of you have been with us for a while, if you haven't backtracked a little bit, you'll see how big the blanket's getting. And this week I've made one more panel. And I think this is actually a very pretty panel. My favorite square is this one in the middle. And as I say, as I'm revisiting all these squares, I realize how beautiful a lot of them are. So this is going to be attached to one of the sides, so you'll be able to see that next week. Here they are up close. And as I said earlier, you can see that as you see each tile, the colors really do blend in together. So I'm really glad that I made that decision early on, and it was actually easier for me because I didn't have to think too hard each and every week about the color choices. So this will be added to this huge blanket. I am going to try to measure it for us next week when I attach this panel before I start attaching the next one, so we can see how big it's grown, because there are still a few tiles to add. But I might only actually need to put one more long side on and maybe a shorter side, because I'm trying to make a rectangle shape. And as I said, as it's growing, I'm really appreciating its beauty. And the fact that the 4 tiles in there, one that's Sam's, one Mike's, one Josephine's, and one mine, it just makes it even more special. But the fact that you've all been coming along, being cheerleaders, and continuing to do so while this blanket grows, I cannot tell you what joy that brings me, because it really does encourage me to keep going to put it together, because I was really worried that I wasn't going to stick to the plan of putting this blanket together. So hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, by Christmas 2024 it will be completed. Well, that's the plan anyway. So let me pop these down. So that's our Tile of the Week Thursday Blanket Edition. Now, the best part is here right now, guys. I'm going to showcase all your makes. I have quite a variety to show you, and only one on the iPad. So let's start off with Vicky's makes. So thank you so much, Vicky, for sending in these gorgeous makes for us. Vicky likes to work with the plushy yarns like the velours and the blanket yarn, and I absolutely love them as well. So I'm in awe of all her work. So these are the Jelly Bean Octos, and they're by Darling Maple Designs. I'll bring them up nice and close for you. Gorgeous colors, right? And then we have, I better not lose my notes, guys. Let me pop this over here. And then we have this sweet little cat. Look at those eyes. Oh my goodness. And that love heart nose. Beautiful color yarn. And this is by Little Muggles. There we go there. So cute. And wait till you see this little fellow. Gorgeous color choices. There we go. And this is a little turtle, and the pattern is by our friend Ella over at No Catchy Name Crochet. So she's got a little tutorial for this. Now, if you don't already know Ella, you're missing out. She is such a sweet human. You must go across and visit her. So thank you so much, Vicky, for sending in those gorgeous little makes. And then we have our friend Shirley. Now, Shirley is continuing with her quest to make as many blankets for Camp Boggy Creek that she can, and she's got 3 to show us today. Wait till I show you. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Shirley, for sharing these with us. Can't wait to see them unboxed as well when Nancy and the rest of the Boggy Blanket Brigade boxes them. So this one is a green multi-Aran stripes, and Shirley tells us, and I totally agree, that this looks like a football field. Now let me show you the yarn before I show you the little embellishment she put on there. There's the yarn there that she used. So she thought that she would pop on a little football embellishment. I love that. And the stitch pattern is from Angela at My Precious Yarnery. That is such a pretty blanket. I'm sure someone will adore having that, and then they get to take it home. And then, oh wow, these are so pretty. And then Shirley used the tutorial from Judy's Creations in Crochet. It's a granny square, so there's 4 granny squares, individual ones, and the total, like the measurement is 40 inch by 40 inch, which is the biggest one that you can make for Camp Boggy Creek if you make a square. And there are 4 different colors of the red heart ombres. And I think that's my favorite one there. That's the purples, right? Absolutely. Oh, there's another purple one there too, I think. Absolutely gorgeous. And lucky last, Shirley made this beautiful blanket, and she's used 2 of her favorite stitches in this one. And I love these stitches too. The double crochet cross stitch and the half double crochet. Now that's in US terminology. And let me show you the yarn that she used and the stitches up close. Now Shirley tells us that this yarn here is super soft. It's the Premier Anti-Peeling DK Batik in the color Pod Party. And she used a 5mm hook. So thank you so much, Shirley, for sending them in. Oh, what's the tally now? Let us know in the comments down below how many blankets you're sending off with these 3. Excuse me. Now, our friend Aussie Sandy has been very, very busy creating some total cuteness here, some adorable little things. Now, look at this little guy here. Now, this is a little lovey, and the crocheted bear, like the bear is also crocheted by Sandy. And I do believe that the pattern is by Amigurumi Today. And you will see another little bear in here, and the pattern is lop-eared bunny pattern. But of course, Sandy changed the ears to make it into a bear. And the little lovey here, Sandy tells us that she used 8-ply or DK weight acrylic scraps from her stash, holding 2 strands together. And the tutorial that she used is from YouTube by Z. Zelda NRJ3 is a YouTube channel, and that's the same pattern that I use as well, and I think most of us do when we make a lovey. So there it is up nice and close, gorgeous colors. Oh, and look at this guy. Okay, so there's a story here. So this fellow here, this little old man started off as a zombie, and that's why he's grey. So his skin's grey. The zombie pattern is by Rhonda Butler on YouTube, and the yarns that Sandy used are Premier yarns. He is so cute. And then look at this gorgeous little fellow here. Oh my goodness, he's like a rainbow bear. This is a little teddy, and Sandy used 2 strands of 8-ply or DK weight yarn held together. The pattern is, as I said earlier, from Amigurumi Today. It's the lop-eared bunny pattern, but Sandy changed the ears. Look at his gorgeous little embroidered face. So, so cute. Thank you so much, Sandy, for sending them in. Oh, and by the way, although those 3 are going off to Sandy's sister, she's gifting them to her. And now I'll get into my iPad, because our friend Liza has been busy making some amigurumi, which is her love, and also some socks, which she's amazing at as well. So let me just bring up those gorgeous little photos and I'll give you some stats. So here are well, they're actually booties, not socks. So these booties, oops, there we go. The pattern is by Diving Ducks Crochet. The yarn is extra fine merino chunky, And Liza used a 6.5 millimeter clover hook, and then she made this gorgeous little aeroplane here. Oh, there we go. Can you see that, guys? You can see how little it is. There's Liza's hand under it. And the pattern is from a magazine called Fun Amigurumi, issue 10. Liza used cotton yarn and a 3 millimeter hook. There we go. Sorry about the light, guys. It's never very good when I have the light there. But Liza, thank you so much for sending them in. Once again, gorgeous makes. We really do appreciate that you send them in, all of you. Now, I wonder what you've all added to your crochet to-do list. I know that there is a couple of things that we all seem to add to every single week. I do like the booties that Liza made. I think I've got the same pattern that I made. I'm pretty sure I have. I'll have to look that up. But I still have to make socks. Yet to do that. Now, we showcased all your amazing makes. As always, thank you for taking the time to email me your gorgeous makes. I love seeing them, and I know that everybody else does. All that oohing and ahhing, I can hear it in the background. That is so awesome. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is a few of the things that I've been working on, and I'm very happy to present to you with some finished objects, or FOs. Now, one of them does need all the ends sewn in, but I have started. Now, some of you may remember I was talking about using this yarn here, which I purchased at a sale at Spotlight. I bought 10 balls of the pink and 10 balls of the pink mix. It is this beautiful Bella Baby Nippers yarn, which is 100% acrylic. Each ball has 100 grams and 90 meters in it, and I bought 5 of each one. Now, I wanted to make a little blanket with it for my girlfriend who's having a little baby girl at the end of the year. And I also wanted to make a lovey, and I'm very happy to say that that's happened. Now, for the blanket, I ended up using, in total, 5 of the pink and 5 of the pink mix. And I think it turned out gorgeous. It's a corner-to-corner blanket. And let me show you both sides. See this side here? So this is a quarter of it. You can see it's got even amounts of the dark pink and the light pink, but it's flipped over. So like I said, I've got to sew in the ends, but it's such a nice size, don't you think, guys? So there's one side where you can see a lot of the pink, and then this side, which is the opposite, you can see a lot more of the, can you see that? Of the pink mix. So I had enough, as we said, out of the, so I had 10 and 10, 20 balls. I've used 10 balls for the blanket. I haven't made a border. I don't think it needs it at this stage. When I sew in all, oh, it's so soft. When I sew in all of the ends, I'll see how we go. And if anything changes, I'll let you know. But for now, it's staying like that. And then because, of course, I had some more left over, I made this gorgeous little lovey. Oh, my goodness. So this lovey here is, I used a 6.5 millimeter hook to make the blanket. I usually use a 7, but because it's for a little baby, I thought I'll make this, the gaps a little bit tighter. And then I ended up using 1 ball and a bit for the lovey of the pink, and almost a whole ball of the pink mix. And I too used the Zelda NRJ3 tutorial with a little elastic band in the neck. I thought I'd pop some yarn for little ribbons in her little ears, but I might make proper ribbons. We'll see. That was a very last minute thing, very late last night. Now, I searched in my yarn room to find the perfect toy, and I landed on a little doggy. Here she is here, and there's her little tail. Oh my goodness, she's so adorable, because my girlfriend and her family are dog people, and it'll be the perfect addition to their family. So that's our little lovey over there. I'll just pop her right there. Here you go, you can see her little face. I just love that. So I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a bit balls left over, which is awesome, of that yarn. So I'm pretty sure that I can make a few other little gorgeous makes as well. So that was my FOs. So that's 2 FOs. Okay, I know I have to sew in the ends. I can't say that it is complete yet, but pretty much there. And then I thought, oh, let me show you a little bit of progress on the gold blanket. And it is actually, I was hoping that I'd be halfway, and I'm nearly there, because I didn't want to run out of yarn, because this is the only amount of yarn that I've got of this one. So let me just show it to you. So this is the yarn that I'm talking about here. It's this velvet yarn, and they're the 2 balls that I have left, and I am using a 7mm hook. So I'm nearly halfway, and I've already used this much to go of the second ball. So this is how big it is so far. So it does have a little bit more to grow. So it's not going to be a blanket as such, more of a throw for the lounge. So that's what the newlyweds want it for. So I think it'll be okay. When I finish with this one, which I'm hoping to do, you know, as soon as possible, I'll be able to actually gauge what size it'll be. But I'm happy to say that I think it'll be a nice size, especially with the 2 balls to go. So that's what I've been working on as well, and hopefully it'll be finished sooner than later, because they do have a nice little collection of throws already. So they just want to add this to have splashes of colour throughout their home, because it is very, very wide in there in the granny flat. Now, the other thing that we wanted to make for in there, if you recall, my daughter-in-law wanted some cushions made out of this gorgeous blanket yarn here. Absolutely love the colour, and I am using an 8mm hook for that one. Now, she doesn't like holes at all, so you'll see it's a very tight, solid granny square. And I'm happy to report that I have 2 bags. Oops, sorry, I'm off. There we go. I have 2 bags of this, and only 2 bags. So again, I was hoping and praying that each bag would make a cushion. And I have 2 left in a 400-gram bag, and I've got this much to go of the second ball, and I've only got another row to make. So let me just pop it up here on the actual cushion so you can see. Very, very simple make. It's nothing like, there's no real design to it, but it is what she wants, which is great. And 1 more row, and then the back panel, I'll have enough to make 2 cushions. Phew, I was really worried at one stage, guys, because sometimes you take on a project not knowing exactly how much yarn you're going to need, but because they're not very big cushions that I'm, making them for, perfect. I cannot wait for those to finish, because they will definitely add a beautiful splash of colour to their home. So that's that one done as well. And then this is something which I absolutely love the idea of. So some of you may already know our friend Natasha over at Loops and Stitches. That's her YouTube channel. Our friend Sally actually introduced me to her, and she is such a lovely human. Please go across and visit her. Say hello. I think you will really enjoy her company. She's a very talented crocheter, and she has quite a few things on the go. And, she has a few different videos out there for you to enjoy. And one of them is something like Free Pattern Friday. And on there, she shows many free patterns, and this one caught my eye because this is something I'm making for Steve. He's absolutely going to love the lengthy loofah. So he's going to use this to scrub his back in the shower, because I know he does love to do that. Now, this is a free pattern on the Lovecrafts website, and there's so many in there. Now, I'm using, here it is here, I'm using my Red Heart Scrubby yarn, which was gifted to me by my girlfriend Simone, and also some 100% cotton yarn. So this is what's left of it. So this is the cotton, and there's a scrubby yarn. And let me just show you. I did make this loofah a little bit wider than the pattern calls for, so that it can cover as much of, surface area as it can of the skin. And I'm going to make it as long as the yarn, until the yarn runs out, and then I'll put longer handles on it if I need to. Now, I am using a 6mm hook to make it, because I am double stranding it, even though it does say to use a 4mm hook in the pattern, but we all know we can adjust that. Now, this is the very simple granny stripe, is that what it's called? So the granny stitch, but in a stripe. Now, I have to tell you, I've always struggled with this stitch. Reason being, I never know how many to end with and start with. I do have my stitch markers on this, so I make sure that I don't lose, any stitches. And it has been a little bit of a struggle, which is so surprising to me, because it is such a simple stitch, really, but it all comes down to the counting. So I'm glad I'm doing it with a simple project like this to also practice that stitch, because let's be real, if there's a tiny mistake in a loofah, no one's actually going to really know, right? But it is going to be so good, you know, to give that exfoliation and that, you know, gentle rub that we need sometimes. So it's going to be a nice surprise for Steve when I finish that one. And I get to use my scrubby yarn because I do have another red ball in my collection and some beautiful purple colour that Josephine sent me in some happy mail. Oh, I'm running out of space here, guys. There we go. There's another mountain growing over there. So that is that one. Now the other thing, whoops, where are we? Oh my goodness, there is so much happening. Now the other thing that I want to show you is one of the cows that I'm taking place in. Now I have not forgotten Cassandra over at Craftably Ever After and the Whimsical Stitches. I just need to do a little bit of a catch-up of a couple of things. I think one of them is an octopus and one of them is a teacup. So I really need to get cracking on those. The good news is that in 11 days, 11 school days, I'll be on 2 weeks school holidays. So I endeavour to catch up then if I don't do so beforehand. Now, the other crochet along that I'm participating in and really enjoying is with our friend Sally over at Nanny Moon's Crochet, and it's using this book here, Crochet Donut Buddies. Each week, Sally pulls out a new donut out of her big bag of tricks, I call it, but it's a big bag of balls, and on each ball she's got a different donut on there. And this week gone, so for last week, we were making this little pig. There it is there. Now, this little pig was very, very sweet and very, very cute. The only thing that I found, and here's mine. Now, I know one ear looks tiny, guys, but it actually isn't. They're both the same size. But it's just that that's a huge bow. And I do have the goggly eyes on it, and the little snout is right there. I think sometimes the goggly eyes look a little bit harsh on camera, but he's actually quite cute. I did use 3 different pinks in total. But for some reason, and Natasha over at Hooks and Stitches said the same thing. I don't know why it happened the same this week. The actual icing seemed to be like it was melting more on the top. But he is going to be over there with his friends. I think that it was a fun make, and it was very, very simple, this one. And I look forward to making the next one, which I believe is the fox. Aussie Sandy made that one last week, so she might want to send a photo across to Sally. Let's see. So that's the other cow that I'm participating in, and it has been a lot of fun. Now, just a little bit of our own things that are going on. The Crochet Through the Decades Cow 2024 for the 1950s vote is ending this Friday, which is tomorrow. So could you please get your final votes in, because I'm coming back on Sunday to let you know who the winner was. We're going to fill up our jars with everybody's name, and I'll show you who made what as well, because there were 14 entries and 14 gorgeous makes. Very, very hard to choose, and everyone has been saying the same. But I love that people are saying, I'm choosing this one because it reminds me of my childhood, or because it was my favorite, you know, thing to do, or whatever. So that is so exciting. And please, if you haven't already watched that video of, you know, what I'm talking about, all the different makes, so you can see them to vote for them, please go and watch it. And then only just, was it yesterday or the day before? I think the day before. Yes, it was the day before. I did the unboxing of the Crochet Society subscription box number 50. Please go and watch that video if you haven't already done so, and start voting, because voting will close on the 22nd of September 2024. And then I'll tally up which project won out of 1, 2, and 3, and I'll have to start making it, which I cannot wait. So please get onto that if you haven't already done so. There's been quite a bit of voting already, which is wonderful. Now, that's pretty much it as far as the crochet goes. And now it's time to talk about an exciting event that happens at school. Actually happens in all over the place, but we celebrated at my workplace, and this is why I'm wearing my yellow headband. And some of you might remember that last year the same thing happened, and I need to ask you the question that we've all been asking today: are you okay? Now that's a question we all ask each other pretty much every day, especially when we see, you know, someone, you know, on a daily basis, or, you know, whoever we see. Hi, how are you? Are you okay? And sometimes we just say it and it's automatic, the answer, yeah, I'm fine. But on occasion, we have to stop and read the room basically. Does this person look or sound a bit different to what they did when I last asked them? And this is what today is all about. So at our workplace, the P&C and our school put together a huge breakfast, and the whole community comes together. Young and old, neighbours, not just the families from the school, grandparents, siblings, younger and older. And we have an opportunity to make each other aware that it's okay sometimes to reach out when you really need to speak to someone. And there are so many organisations that come and visit the school on the day and advertise that you can speak to them or make us aware, and they have some pamphlets, and I'll just show you who they are, and then I'll show you a really nice treat that we all get to share. So there's always the kids helpline. Now, I do work in a primary school, which is children ages 5 to about 12, and you would think that, there'd be no issues, which would be wonderful in a perfect world. But children, young and old, it doesn't matter what age they are, sometimes need to reach out to someone other than just family. And there is always someone there to listen. And that's what this is all about, making us aware. Now, again, this is just showing you how to start a conversation, which is, just a little, like a flow chart, just to give you some help, some guidance if you're not sure how to help someone. And the main thing is, like I said, to listen, to actually hear what someone is saying to you. Are they just answering you because they're in a hurry? Or have you seen a change to them because you saw them yesterday or, a few days ago? And that's very important, not to, force yourself on them, but let them know that you're here to listen and to lend a helping hand. And sometimes people, all they need to do is just have a sounding board, and then they get through the situation. Now, we have a wonderful organisation here called Breakthrough, and they actually come and counsel some of our children on site for free, which is a wonderful opportunity for them to speak to somebody. And then there's also a huge organisation called Headspace, and they are a wonderful organisation as well. And, they have all these places. You can also have like a helpline, a phone conversation with them. You don't have to, go and see someone. And then they have little handouts like this, how to help a friend, helping a friend going through a tough time. So it's really nice to have these resources at hand, especially for the younger people or families. Sometimes parents don't know how they can help their children or themselves, and this is why it's wonderful to have these organizations there. And like I said, we have a huge morning tea put out for everyone. There's a coffee truck on site, which is great, especially for myself who's a coffee drinker. And then our principal got all these cupcakes made for everyone. Look at that, guys. Are you okay? And what a wonderful way to sweeten the deal, that there's always someone out there for you, just to lend you a helping hand, just to say, look, I am here, lean on me, basically. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It is a very important event in our community, and we all really do look forward to it. People are there in a happy environment by talking about a situation or a conversation to be had about a very difficult subject or topic, but it's something that should not be taboo. And I think that in this day and age, we're very lucky that it isn't, but people just need to reach out. So all of you, if you ever need someone to have a chat, please know that I'm always here for you. It just takes, an email or, something in the comments, and a conversation can be had. So I hope you're all keeping very, very well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It has been a joy and a delight as always. And until I see you once again, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.